Hello and welcome to another Pauper video. I'm Kalikaiz. Today I am playing High Tide with Familiars. This is actually going to be a Pauper challenge, and this is recorded after the Pauper challenge actually ended. So I actually decided, I was just tooling around with this list and decided to join the Pauper challenge with 30 seconds until start. So I just sent it. It'll be interesting to see how everybody likes it. I really enjoyed playing this specific list, and this is a very combo-specific version of High Tide with FAMs. So why would you play it with Familiars? Well, you get better access to cost reduction for your Merchant Scroll, Negate, Snap, Mancer effect. So I found that the mono blue for Snap and Archaeomancer was a little bit clunky, but Sunscape Familiar acts sort of like as a pseudo High Tide. It allows you to get to the 7 effective mana to play Archaeomancer plus Snap and go infinite a little bit easier. So this is similar to the Rainbow Familiars. This specific list, we're playing 8 cantrips, the 4 High Tide, 2 Scroll, 18 lands with 4 landscape, 1 floodplain, 1 plains, the rest are just islands. And then we have 3 negate, 2 counterspell, because negate is better generally against spell-based combo. Counterspell can help us lock up the game. We have the Scroll that can find the High Tide or the Snap or the Flicker or our counter spells. Or Archaeomancer, because I was going pretty hard. 2 Compulsive Research as card draw and also a win condition. And then we have 8 draw spells with Mole Drifter and Lorien Revealed, all as a big draw spells. Sideboard has anti-red, so I moved all the Faithfuls to the sideboard. Some anti-affinity, some counter spells, some Hydroblast, and some dispels. High Tide is super fun. I'm hoping that we will be able to continue to do well. Hopefully you enjoy the video, and I will see you soon. Brave New Worlds in Philadelphia is hosting a Pauper 1K on April 27th. The prizes are going to go up, up, up if we get more than 25 players. Check out all the details in the description. Thanks for watching. Did you know you could get sideboard guides on patreon.com/Kalikaiz? And did I mention you can get early access to videos on the YouTube page in the membership section? And if you like these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. Here in round 1 of the Pauper challenge. This is the first challenge post-ban. So I have Plains, Fetch Island, Preordain, turn 2. Seems fine, let's keep it. If they're on land destruction, we can go Contaminated Landscape, get an island, play the island, hold up the negate. I'll pass the turn. Our opponent plays a forest. So usually they play Bogles. Could also be on land destruction. So I think it's important to cycle for the island here. Play the island and pass the turn. They fetch with an Ash Barrens. Let's see if they get a plains. Okay, so they're on Bogles. So we need to go fast. The negate can be good. Maybe I fetch out an island so that I can play the landscape and Preordain next turn, plus hold up the negate for a payoff spell. So my deck does not have any life gain in the main deck. I have no anti-enchantments. So I'm just a counterspell deck / race. Let's see how it goes. They play out of plains. Looks like they're passing. Let's fetch an island. Untap. Start off with a Preordain. We have a floodplain and a negate. I like both of these. Top. Play the landscape. Pass the turn. We're probably not going to fetch for a turn or 2 because I'm holding up both of the negates. They cycle in Ash Barrens. Grabbing a forest. Plays a Bogle. Yep. Abundant Growth, that's okay. Ethereal Armor is going to eat a negate. My turn, play the floodplain. And then I could Preordain, hold up negate, or just fetch right away. I think I'm going to fetch. Grabbing an island, pass the turn. We want to focus the negates on any payoff spell, Ethereal Armor or Mask. Armadillo Cloak is okay. It's 3 damage. Our opponent attacks. They gain 3 life. Plays another Bogle. So they have 4 power in play. Let's start off. I guess we could Preordain or Compulsive. I think Preordain's better if I can find a familiar. I'm looking for a familiar, a High Tide, Archaeomancer, all those things. Merchant Scroll will be okay. There's a High Tide and a Ponder. So I will put the High Tide on top with the Ponder on top. And then I'm going to Ponder again. Double High Tide. Okay. So we'll keep these. No shuffle. Play the island. Pass the turn. So next turn, they have another cloak. I think I have to not do anything here. They have 6 damage a turn, so it's a 3-turn clock. We can go High Tide, evoke Drifter, Snap Drifter. And then if I find I need to find like a familiar. Oh, I messed this up, didn't I? Crud. High Tide. This is pretty bad. Compulsive Research. We'll discard the negate. And I guess the merchant scroll here. Lay out the familiar. And now the Drifter Snap is going to be mana positive. Evoke the Drifter. We have to hope they just don't have Ram Through in their hand. We found a Flicker, so snap the Drifter. They do have a Ram Through. Snap the Drifter again. Untap. Play a familiar. And we will evoke the Drifter. Draw 2 cards. Found the Archaeomancer, so we went infinite. Let's go. Another High Tide. Okay, sweet. High Tide. Mancer. Get the Flicker. Okay. Make some mana. Mancer. Get back High Tide. Mancer. Get back High Tide again. We'll go High Tide. High Tide. Start flickering. Oh, we have the compulsive, so never mind. I would like to find a second compulsive or a second. I can just flicker here. Get back. Scroll. Flicker. Roll for the flicker. High Tide again. Draw 2 cards. Okay. Ponder. Looking for another compulsive. We'll just shuffle. I'll evoke the Drifter. Draw 2. There's a compulsive. Look at the Drifter. Get back the Flicker. They have 45 cards. So I play the island, and then I'll just make a bunch of mana. We need 30-something mana, 31 mana to compulsive them to the 0. Flicker and away. So I just have to make mana. 27. Okay, now I will flicker and get back my compulsive research and point it at your face. So because they're triple queued, this is going to interrupt their other game, and they pretty much should concede here because it's causing them extra time loss in multiple situations. Well, it looks like they're not going to. Put this stack up with a triggered ability down. Get back the compulsive. Okay, compulsive you. Twink. Compulsive you again. So I don't know if I should be bringing in Faithfuls and trying to not die to their attacks by having life gain. All right, they conceded. I imagined that they would. Okay, so I mean, we can try to race them and then have counter spells, or we just, I mean, I have 4 Archaeomancers. I think the only thing I can try to do is race, have the negates and stuff. Let's try it. This hand is interesting, but so I'm gonna keep it. If they turn 3-us, we're super dead, but we have Snap, Mancer, Flicker. We have islands. So this turn we cycle for the duel, play Preordain, looking for the High Tides. And if we can find enough High Tides, we can just win the game. They lead on Utopia Sprawl, so no turn 1 Bogle. Find a scroll. So I can go land. Scroll gets the High Tide. I still do need the dual land, I think. I think so. I'll grab the dual land. This is looking to be like a turn 4 though. So maybe it's not that great. The Abundant Growth, and then play a Utopia Sprawl. So here we could double Flicker, play the Floodplain, cycle for an island. We'll have 3 lands. And then we can scroll for High Tide and Preordain. No creature. Okay, I'll scroll for the High Tide. And then cast the Preordain. Landscape and a Preordain. Don't think I want the Landscape. I guess I'm going to top the Preordain right now. They play a Bogle. They have an Armadillo Cloak, so hopefully they can't do 20 damage right now. Start with the Preordain. Compulsive Research. So I will bottom, top the Research, play the land, compulsive myself, discarding the Landscape, and So can I win this turn? 5. Then I'll have 8 mana. Archaeomancer. Get the High Tide. Play the High Tide again. 3 mana. Flicker. Flicker. Snap. Then I have... So I guess I'm just going to discard the negate. It's sketchy. Alright, let's see what you got. We have to pay attention to the possibility of a ram through. They're tapping out. Puts a Rancor on it. Puts an Armadillo Cloak on it. They're attacking him for 7. I think I have it. Double snap. Okay, so High Tide. We can go mana positive. Play Archaeomancer. Get the High Tide. Cast the High Tide. Snap the Archaeomancer. Untap 2 lands. Flicker the 2 lands for mana. Make sure I click the lands correctly. The tapped ones, please. We'll play Archaeomancer. Grab the High Tide. Cast the High Tide. And then make infinite mana. Sweet! Okay, so I'll make mana for a little while, then play my Drifter and draw my deck. Evoke the Drifter. Flicker here. We found a familiar. Get the Flicker back. More High Tides. Sweet. So snap the Archaeomancer. Untap. Play High Tide. High Tide. Play the familiar. And then Archaeomancer. Getting back the second Flicker in case something crazy is happening. We'll Flicker here. And get back to Flicker. Our opponent's just gonna F6 and walk away because they're doing their other stuff. That's fine. Okay, this feels like a pretty nice start to the event. Let's draw 2. We just have to find another Archaeomancer and then we can shoot them with the compulsives. I'd like to draw the second compulsive. Okay, so Flicker here. I found a second familiar. So I guess I'm going to get back the snap for a moment. Snap my Archaeomancer. Untap. Play the familiar. Play the Archaeomancer. Get back the Flicker. And then go back into the drawing cards. Bottom. Top the Lorien. Draw 3 cards. There's a second Mancer. Okay. We'll get the High Tide first. Cast the High Tide. Make a ton of mana. Okay, our opponent scoops. Nice. Round 2 versus Illuminati on the draw. Sketchy there. I know our opponent likes to play Delver. Let's see if that's what they're up to. Huh. Yup. There's a Delver. I will just fetch out my planes, or my island planes. And we're getting a slow start here. Maybe I can punk them though. I don't know. They've got a Ponder. They get in for 3. So this is a 7-turn clock at the moment. That means I have 6 turns. They're pondering. No shuffle, plays an island. Another Delver. I have 3 turns. Okay, that's pretty bad. Opponent, Artful Dodge. Milling some cards. They mill the Artful Dodge in the Deep Analysis. They get in for 6. We go to 11. I don't have any life gain in my deck. I'll try to play a Sunscape Familiar. Let's see if they have a counterspell. No counter. I'm going to play the landscape and then fetch out an island. They do have an Artful Dodge to push the damage through. Even if I manage to land a Mulldrifter, I'll be at 5. So I kind of need... I mean, the only thing that I can do here is put the Mulldrifter on the stack and see if I can block this Delver. They get in. We go to 5. I assume they have counterspells. Deep Analysis. Okay. Maybe they're looking for a counterspell. We have a Snap. So I can attempt the Snap. Then if it fails, I can Drifter and try to Snap again. Attempt to Snap. Counterspell. Okay, so the only thing I can do is evoke the Drifter and hope to find a Snap. We didn't get there. I was actually really close to winning. Wow. I would have probably had a turn 5. My opponent is a strong player with a powerful plan. So we need Dispels because it's a 1-mana spell always. Maybe I will cut the... I could bring in the Faithfuls. I feel like I need to just race them. Let's cut a Scroll because it's kind of slow. But it also helps me find the High Tide. Could cut a Snap. I think I'm going to just bring in 2 Dispels. I have a bunch of 1 mana interaction. Being on the draw there cost me. If I were on the play, I could have maybe gotten there with the double fam High Tide. But they probably had more counter spells in their hand anyway. It happens. Here we go. Turn 2 fam. Okay. Turn 2 fam. Then what? Then we cycle the Lorien, pick it back up with the Archaeomancers. We have the blockers from the Archaeomancers potentially. Our opponent mulligans to 6. They're going for the Delver again. Land, Delver. Oh, it's a Ponder. I'm safe. I have so much time now. I feel like a weight is off my shoulders. I'm just going to relax. I wonder if I should bring in Giga Drowse. Like, if I should have Giga Drowse in my list. I was just testing some High Tide this morning and just decided to join the challenge with 30 seconds to go. So we're freewheeling. I don't think I can like afford to just take a blind draw into the turn 4 Lorien. Like I think I need to. I wonder if I should cycle the Lorien on my upkeep. That way I'm less likely to draw land. No, I don't know. What am I really doing? Drawing into cantrips. We'll see what they do. They play a second land. Okay, so Ponder plus Shuffle. Ponder. We're looking for counter spells or High Tide. Another familiar. So I'll put the island underneath and then no shuffle. Cast the familiar. So they have to use a regular counter spell if they want to counter it. They could maybe have like Nullify. They let it go. Mental Note, Milling, Deep Analysis, Murmuring Mystic. They Brainstorm. Place a Delver. Leaving open counterspell. Let's play Archaeomancer for Ponder. Resolves. I don't really want to play into Spell Pierce. Oh well, I'll just play it. Get it out of their hand. Make them have it. Ooh, okay. High Tide on top. No shuffle. Pass the turn. We're going to probably cycle the Lorien on the end step and then try to play the Mancer for the Lorien again. See if we can get them to tap out so we can hard cast a Lorien. We don't want the 2 lands that are on top of the deck. They flip the Delver. Thought Scour themselves. Milling Island, Thought Scour. 3 mana available. They're getting in for 3. Okay. Well, let's cycle the Lorien. I can't afford to High Tide because unless they're tapped out, right? Because they're going to have too much mana. Flicker is good. Why don't I just get in with my Archaeomancer? Then I can hardcast the Lorien Revealed. They have to counterspell it. And then I can play the Archaeomancer getting back the Lorien Revealed. Cast. Because I'm playing around Spell Pierce. If they have double Spell Pierce, they have double Spell Pierce. Counterspell. Let's Mancer. Get back the Lorien Revealed. Now, if I can get them to tap out, I have infinite mana. And I can draw my deck by recycling the Lorien Revealeds. They use a Deep Analysis from the graveyard. They have 6 cards in hand. Casting a Ponder. So hopefully I play the Lorien Revealed and they hardcast another counterspell, and then they die. What do they have? A Snake? I will attempt a Lorien Revealed. Do you have a counterspell? Because that kills you. They give it to me. So let's go Island. We will attack in. 6 cards in hand. We have double High Tide now, which is great. And then I actually have double Flicker, so I think I'm going to Flicker and try to return the Lorien Revealed and see if they want to counterspell this. Regular Dispel. That sucks. Okay. Preordain. I gotta find a counterspell of my own. So bottom the lands. Another Lorien. Okay. Brainstorm. So let's now Flicker to return the Flicker. Get back Flicker. Get back Flicker. Our opponent casts a Ponder. I feel so close to having the win here, but 5 mana available from them. They get in for 3. So we have 4 more turns before this Delver kills us. Brainstorm again. They cycle a Dragon Wings. So now they will probably play a Snake and get the Dragon Wings. And a Delver. So now they're dead. Epic. High Tide. Cast High Tide. Draw 3 cards. Get rid of your Delver. Untap. Flicker. Get the snap. Get rid of your other Delver and whatnot. Pap. Untap. Flicker here. Get the High Tide. Get the Flicker. Cast the High Tide. Mancer. Get the High Tide. Cast the High Tide. I'm enjoying. We're going to go ahead and just... Why don't I just bounce your snake just for funsies? Get rid of that thing. Oh, it looks like I have to pay an extra 2. No problem. I'll pay the 2. Easy. Let's Flicker. Get back the Lorien. And then get back another Lorien. There you go. Draw 3 cards. For 3 mana. 1 mana per card. No creatures that I care about. But I should probably put the Mortuary Mire on the table, because I'm going to have to discard the hand size. There's a familiar. Play the fam. I'm just going to High Tide again. Let's Compulsive ourselves. Discard land card. Now the question is whether I want to try to just stack up counter spells and counter them out. But I took out the regular counters. So let's Preordain. There's the other Compulsive. We're good. Let's make infinite mana. They're at 33, so I need 21 mana to kill them. I have 42. Compulsive. That was sweet. Actually, I probably should look for more counterspells. So let's draw 3 cards first. Evoke a Drifter. Because they could have some number of foils. There's a negate. Let's draw some cards. I don't want to get got by a foil. Alright, let's draw some more cards. Given that they haven't conceded. Ponder. I'll shuffle. Ponder again. Negate. Okay, so now I have 4 counters. For their potential up to 4 foils. I have, what, 5 counters? 4 counters. Okay, so now we just get back to compulsives. So one benefit to playing the familiars list is that we have legitimate counterspells, and we don't have to play Giga Drowse. Just something I've been thinking about. Dome you. And then it's 18:26 on clock. We have to do 10 more hits. So let's see how long that takes. All right, I'm just going to narrate this one so you can see how I'm optimizing it. I'm clicking the flicker on the right first, so the one on the left will stay on the screen. I target the bottom compulsive first. Now I have the other flicker here. Target the bottom compulsive as the bottom target first. Click over once, target you with the compulsive. Click over and move this while this is resolving. We're going to then target them. And then here, the easiest thing to do since they're at 0. All right, we win the game. They conceded. I still had one more loop if they wanted to time me, but all good. That took me 60 seconds to do 10 loops, or 80 seconds-ish. Okay, we are 1-1. And now they know they need to be delvering me out. So we have a lot of counter magic, a lot of high tides, 1 scroll. Can I do it again? I hope so. We had turn 2 fam that time. That was pretty clutch. Okay. We have some cantrips. Our opponent keeps 7. I'm going to keep. They did not delver me. So things are looking good so far. Okay, we found the Lorien. Let's ponder. I don't even know if I want this Mold Drifter. Yes, I do. No shuffle. On my upkeep, I will cycle for the dual land. They play an island. We're going to cycle. And then I can take off the upkeep stop. Grabbing the floodplain. Play the floodplain. Our opponent brainstorms, so they're probably going to have a Thought Scour. Mental note. So 5 in the graveyard. They could play a snake right now. They Thought Scour themselves. 1 snake. We find a high tide. Let's island, ponder. Looking for a familiar. We have a Dispel, an Archaeomancer, and a negate. Okay, so the Dispel is good. The Archaeomancer is good. Let's preordain, and then bottom, top. Pass the turn. Problem is if I high tide, I give them a lot of options too. They cycled for an island on my end step. Plays Augur of Bogles. Regular counterspell. They get in for 5. If I high tide and they counterspell, they play a Tormod's Crypt. Okay. Let's Merchant Scroll. That's maybe not that good. Merchant Scroll, grabbing the high tide, I guess. Tide. Pass the turn. I need to draw land. And I need them to only have a little bit of interaction. They have 5 cards, 5 mana available. They have 6 damage on the table. I find a familiar. So let's try the... I guess if I'm playing around Spell Pierce, I could go... Oh, this is tough. They have 6 damage. Alright, I'm going to try the familiar. It resolves. So let's now evoke a Drifter. Looking for lands and counterspells. They cast a Think twice. My Drifter resolves. We did not find a land. The Thought Scour. Lorien revealed. I'm going to get rid of the Snap here. They have 5 cards in hand. Did they use the Think twice again? I guess they did. Okay, no blocks. Plays a Cryptic Serpent, 4 cards in hand. Okay, I will start with the High Tide. They're going to counterspell. I'll cast another High Tide. Counterspell. I will dispel the counterspell. High Tide resolves. Blue, snap the Serpent. I think I'm going to win. Untap. Negate the counterspell. This is crazy. High Tide resolves. We play Archaeomancer. We target the snap because that makes infinite mana. They exile my graveyard. So now I can actually make a little bit of extra mana here just by going Flicker. If they have a foil, I'm dead. Return the Flicker. Make infinite mana. Woohoo! Alright. Evoke. Got there. Draw some cards. Okay. Another High Tide. I'll take it. High Tide. And Flicker away. We also have a Snap. And then Flicker again. This is crazy. I have been not having that much success with High Tide, and things are just going pretty well right now. We will grab the Flicker. Preordain. I'm going to bottom the lands. It doesn't really matter to preordain or not. I guess it's like slightly less mana. We did find a negate. Draw 2. Let's draw 2 again. We have 1 mana left over. Move these down. Wait, no. I want this up. Target here. Play... Let's just make more mana. Because I might want to play out the Mortuary Mire. Flickering away. Whee! I'm having a blast. I'm feeling very calm, right? I'm not going to be wearing any combo shades this time because I just would like to be able to see everything. There's the Mortuary Mire and a Mole Drifter. Okay, take the other Mole Drifter. No shuffle. Evoke the Drifter. Draw the Mortuary Mire. Flicker here. Let's move the stack down. There we go. Get back to Flicker. Okay, I found a Dispel. Play this. Let's make some mana. Need to find another familiar to make this just a little bit easier on the clicks. Right now it takes 2 clicks to resolve a Flicker. Let's preordain. Another Mancer. I don't really need that. Only need 2. I have 9 mana. Let's compulsive myself. Discard a land card. This island. Ponder. Any order. Just looking for a familiar. There we go. So now I can snap my Mancer. Untap. Play the familiar. Play the Mancer. Get back the snap. And then I will snap and replay the Archaeomancer a couple times to untap all my lands. Bounce the Mancer. Untap. Mancer. Bounce the Mancer. Doink. Untap my lands. Then let's draw some cards. We have 1 compulsive already. Let's Mancer. Getting back the preordain. I don't know if it's like a waste of time to just look for the other compulsive. Another snap. Just bottom. Mancer. Preordain. We have a bunch of counters in hand. Okay, I'll take the Tide and the Drifter. Fine. You convinced me. High Tide. Flicker. We'll draw the Flicker. There's the other compulsive. So now let's make mana. Let's get a couple High Tides. A couple more High Tides going. Why not? One High Tide. Flicker again. Oh, I also need my second Flicker. Preordain. Why did I do that? I'm just playing a little bit loose. I gotta focus up. We're grabbing the other High Tide. Grabbing the Flicker. High Tide. High Tide. Evoke the Drifter. We have 14 cards left in library, so I really do not want to deck out. Get back the Flicker. Okay. Do I have a second Flicker? That's really what I'm looking for, is the second Flicker. We'll get our counter spells over here. Answer over here. This over there. It's just a lot easier when you have two Flickers going. Okay. We'll just make some mana. Preordain, looking for Flicker. Bottom. Bottom. Do it again. There we go. Bottom and top. Now we'll just make some mana. They have 33 again. Let's see how long it takes me. I'm at 12. I guess I can tap the floodplain for mana. 25. So that is enough, I believe. Compulsive. GG. All right, we'll see you in round 3. Okay, round 3 on the draw. This is a very powerful hand. Let's keep it. We're probably going to ponder into cycle for the duel and then do stuff from there. I don't have any idea what my opponent's doing. All right, so they led on a goblin cohort. Let's ponder. I'm going to shuffle this. Maybe it makes sense to scroll for the High Tide right now. And then on turn 3, grab my duel. They have a Tomb Raider. And they're attacking for 4. Bad news. Actually, I'm going to cycle, grab the duel, and play it. Hopefully they can't play creatures and then they can only attack for 4. This next turn I have to compulsive research, I think, and that's why I did that. I could also scroll for the Tide and then preordain. And if I find, I could maybe go off on the next turn. This is 7 damage. I mean, my sideboard is well set up for this with the 4 Faithfuls and a large amount of Hydroblasts. My main deck is not. This is like the old Red Stompy. They have 8 damage. Okay. I'm going to die. Unless they can't play a creature. Then I take 6. I'll preordain. Bottom and bottom. Okay, we're super dead. Is there even any reason? I guess I'll scroll for the Tide just in case. I mean, there's like, I could Tide, Familiar, Compulsive, Snap, Tide. I don't know. Maybe I could get there. This seems like a lost cause though. Being on the draw, they have 6 damage. So that means that 2 of the cards in their hand are either lands or spells. And if they're spells, they can just kill me. They'll put me to 2. They're passing the turn. I don't know how I win, so I'm just going to start doing things. We play the High Tide. We compulsive ourselves. I'll only have 3 mana left. Discarding a land. Ponder. I need like a snap. Yeah, we didn't get there. Well, they got me. So what's my plan? Obviously, I want to change my counter spells for Hydroblasts. And then I want to bring in the 4 Faithfuls. Not the Dust to Dust. Don't really need the scrolls, probably. And then maybe 1 Archaeomancer can be cut and 1 High Tide. Submit. The issue that I'm having with this situation is that my opponent is going to get out early. I don't really have any ground blockers. But I do have a plan. The plan is there. We are on the play. We know what's going on. I feel like I want to keep this. It's so sketchy, but we have the High Tide, right? So we can power out some things. Let's start with a Ponder, looking for Faithful Landscape. Okay, keep this. No shuffle. And then we're going to draw the Faithful. I think I fetch the Plains and then cast the Preordain. They cohort. Play the land. Do I want to grab the Snap? I think I probably do want the Snap. This is a tough scenario because, well, if I grab the snap, I can go Faithful, High Tide, Snap. Yeah, so let's get the snap. Wow, Familiar and Snap. I will just take the Familiar. I guess I have to pass then. Do I want the snap? Well, I think I do. Our opponent gets in for 4. Maybe I'll just actually grab my planes. This is weird. I'm going to compulsive myself. They have a Pyroblast. Alright. Problems? Is there a Bushwhacker in my future? Yes. Balls. Okay. Getting in for a lot. Am I just dead? Chain Lightning. Close to dead. Play the Faithful. Then I can go High Tide Compulsive. Or I can just evoke a Drifter. High Tide Compulsive puts me at 7, then I can block. And then I can go Familiar Drifter next turn. Okay. High Tide. Value play. Compulsive myself. Discard a land. They're attacking for 3. Hopefully they don't have a removal spell for this Faithful. Bolt. There's a Bolt. Okay, we got burned them out. So we'll see you in round 4. Welcome to round 4 versus Sate Shock. We're on the play. Keep. We've got... So I'm going to play the landscape turn 1. Depending on what they're doing, we might grab the duel on turn 1. Play the duel, play it, fetch a land. But I think turn 2 Familiar is generally pretty high upside. Let's play the land and pass. Dross Forge Bridge. So it could really be anything. Then let's go ahead and grab an island. Go to my turn. And then I'll get the duel. I'm sort of worried about not having card advantage in my hand now. If they're on like a Rats build. Red. They play Ichor Wellspring. Okay, I find a Lorien Revealed. Let's play out the Familiar, holding up the snap. Now if they try to kill my Familiar, I can snap it, and then next turn go High Tide Familiar, Lorien Revealed, just like a value play. If they have, okay, Blood Fountain, they're not doing anything yet. They're probably on Jund Wildfire. They're going to kill my creature on my upkeep. I can just flicker it. I can go High Tide, Flicker. Cast a High Tide. Flicker. Finding a negate. Let's draw 3 cards. Merchant Scroll. I can scroll for High Tide, then Preordain, or leave open a negate. I think I should leave open the negate. That was kind of a weird turn. They play a Krark-Clan Shaman. Okay. And a Lembas. Find a landscape. I think I want to draw 3 cards. So let's play the landscape. Draw 3. Go back to 7 cards in hand. Okay, so this is a win, assuming I can fight through the Krark-Clan Shaman. The Nile Spellbomb is a pain. I'll just let it resolve. My turn. Grab an island. Play a land. Grab another island. So if I play Mancer, they're probably going to sack the board and then use the Spellbomb. So I think I'm going to Preordain first. Okay, these are good cards. Counterspell and Lorien Revealed. They use a Fanatical Offering. Okay. The rest would be really annoying here. They Wildfire their land. Okay. Plays a Refurb. I'm just going to use my Counterspell, I guess. They play a land. So can I force through this Krark-Clan Shaman? If I go High Tide, then I can play Archaeomancer. They sacrifice the board. I snap my Sunscape Familiar. Replay the Familiar. Scroll for High Tide. Play the Archaeomancer. Get the scroll. Scroll for Flicker. I think this will work. High Tide. Now, if I had a Capsize in my deck, I could scroll for the Capsize for infinite mana and then replay everything with the Archaeomancer. I'll play the Archaeomancer. Going for the Flicker. They're going to clear. Okay. Interesting. So now I'm going to scroll for Flicker, I think, and then try to snap and replay my Archaeomancer. Or snap this thing. Scroll. Okay. How do I get through this? Flicker is mana neutral. I'll take the flicker, I guess. I will attempt to snap the Karkland Shaman. Donk. They're going to toxin analysis. I will negate. So now I guess they sack their board. Okay. So we let one resolve. I'm going to sacrifice 4. 5. Okay. Let that one resolve. Flicker here. Get back flicker. Let this one resolve. Flicker again. Get back the flicker. Flicker here. Get back the flicker. Let this one resolve. I'll flicker away. Get back the flicker. Next one resolves. Then I can just flicker both of these and get back flicker. Okay. Do we win? Probably not yet. They have a duress for my flicker. You have another spell bomb. Blood Fountain. So they can return the rat and the Karkland Shaman. They decide to use an Eviscerous Insight. Wildfire's their land. Plays a forest. The next turn they're going to have another rat and get back the Karkland Shaman, which is annoying. But I need to draw cards here to make up for the stupid rat. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's ponder looking for a land. Found a land. No shuffle. Play this. Should I think I had a Muldrifter on top. Let's just evoke. Get some more cards in hand. Get in. I think I already my other flicker's in the graveyard, so that's my only flicker that I can have. So I have to like if they get another Wildfire, I'm pretty screwed. They get refurbished in Karkland Shaman. Plays the Karkland Shaman. Plays a refurb. We'll get rid of the ponder. Plays a landscape. I have 6, 7 mana, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it makes sense to cast the High Tide. And then cast the Muldrifter. So the High Tide was just like a really good ritual. Just a really good ritual. We will compulsive research ourselves. Looking for a snap. Found a snap. Discard a land. Discard this one. I play the Archaeomancer. Grabbing the flicker. And now they're going to wipe the board. Karkland Shaman is a dumb card. But we're not dead, and I can snap the Archaeomancer. Let's just let this resolve. Make white. Snap the Archaeomancer. They crack their landscape. Snap resolves. This is going to resolve. We get the flicker back. So if I ponder, let's see. I need another land or a snap. I have 2, 4, 6 mana. 2, 3, 4, 5. Ponder. Another Mancer. Okay. Doot. No shuffle. Play the familiar. Play a land. We can Archaeomancer back the High Tide. And then I'm just going to draw 2. Just keeping the flicker in my hand. I think next turn I can win. And by win, I mean draw. Do I have a counterspell in the graveyard? Yep, okay. So I guess I have to actually mill them. Our opponent plays a Chrysalis. We can assume that they have some number of snuff outs. So I have to like get my negates and things. They play a refurbish. I'm going to get rid of the preordain. We still have the one compulsive in the graveyard. If they have a Bajuka Bog or a Spellbomb, I'm pretty screwed here. They did not. We'll go High Tide, Sunscape Familiar, Archaeomancer. Oops. Get back the High Tide. Cast the High Tide. Flicker here. Get back. Flicker. Get back. Negate. Let's make some mana. I almost screwed up. Flicker here. We'll get back the flicker. Flicker here. Get back the scroll and the flicker. Scroll. Grabbing the negate. Flicker. Get back the High Tide. Cast the High Tide. Then we will flicker. Get back the scroll and get a negate. Kind of neat. I like this grabbing all my stuff. Get the negate. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. I still wanted to cast one more High Tide. Flicker. Get the High Tide. We're at 16 on clock, which is pretty bad, actually. High Tide. Make a bunch of mana. We have 22. We have to be able to play the negates. I'm going to make a little bit more mana. I think that's all 3 negates. So we're going to Flicker, get back Snap in case of a Snuff Out. Flicker again, get back another Snap, and then go ahead and get back the Compulsive and start compulsiving them. We only have the 1 compulsive. Domio. Okay, let's just make it happen. I'm at 1541 o'clock. Just making a little bit more mana. 29 mana right now, 28 after casting the compulsive. All my practice playing Rainbow Fams is paying off. Get the stack over here, I guess. Shoot you. They Galblast the Archaeomancer. We have a negate. Keep giving you cards. Would you like more cards? I can give you them. Cards for everyone. They discarded Duress and a Nyxborn Hydra. Would you like more cards? It would have been better to be able to counterlock them, but I only have negates left in the deck. So I can't counterspell their creatures. So therefore I cannot, like, actually accomplish that. And the snaps in hand help in case I misclick. And I can snap and replay my Archaeomancer. I guess I should probably get back the negate in case they have snuff outs. They showed me the Galvanic Blast, so they might not have snuff outs in their main. Blast you again. In like 2 minutes to actually accomplish the combo, which isn't too bad. Dome you. We need to do it 2 more times. Or we could just F6 and let them die on their upkeep, but it's better to make it happen now so they can't untap with 17 cards in hand. Get back the compulsive. Taste it. We take game 1. I have 2 counterspells. We'll bring both in. I think I'm gonna trim on the Merchant Scrolls and bring in out 1 snap, maybe 2 snaps, maybe 1 High Tide for 2 more Hydroblast. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna keep this. I can fetch an island on turn 1. They've mulliganed to 5. The issue is I really need to be able to counterspell their turn 2 Wildfire. All right, we cannot do that. Pass the turn. Do they have the Wildfire? They have a Wellspring. Let's grab an island. Play another landscape and pass the turn. We play a Slagwood's Bridge. Refurbish Familiar is annoying. We'll get rid of a Ponder. Grab an island. Okay, we keep drawing lands. Let's fetch out the plains and then cast a Preordain. Okay, negate and an island. I don't know if I want this. Maybe the 5th island. I'm going to bottom the island and top the negate. They're getting in for 2. I have no life gain in my deck. A Fanatical offering away their Wellspring, drawing 3 cards. That's not good for me. They miss on lands. Okay. Play the landscape. Sacrifice it. We will grab an island and cast a Preordain. Finding the Familiar. I don't think I want the Mire right now. Pass the turn. I'm worried about the clock a little bit, to be honest. They play a Vault of Whispers. They're getting in for 2. I'm worried that they're going to have a Thorn or something. Play a Lembus. Okay. And they went bottom. Okay, let's draw. I draw a land. Find a Familiar. So let's start off by cycling for an island so I can hold up both of my counterspells and put the Familiar into play with 2 mana open. They use another Fanatical offering. I guess I'm going to negate this one. But the Lembus goes back into the deck. Cast down. Not unexpected. I get in for 2. We go to 14. I'm looking for Mancers. I have a land, so now I can cast the Lorien Revealed with Hydroblast back up. They have a Pyroblast. So I hope they don't have 2. Counter. They did not have 2. I think. They just Pyroblast the original. Why didn't they want to fight on the stack? They play a Twisted Landscape and tap the Twisted Landscape for a Chrysalis, leaving open another Pyroblast. I think I'm dead now. Playing a Limbus. I need a Drifter. I can go Familiar, Drifter, Flicker, Drifter. They find a Red Blast. Do they keep it on top? They do. So I need exactly a card draw spell. A Flicker. So I'm going to go to the next game. They're very heavy on the Red Blasts, huh? Let's bring the scrolls in. So we have 4 of these. I'll cut 1 Ponder. Maybe I just need 4 Hydroblast. Just cutting the negate. I could also cut an Archaeomancer, because this is a slow matchup. Let's try that. 2 Tide, 2 Scroll, 2 Snaps. Feels bad to get completely dumpstered by that Red Blast there. I'm on the play. Negate. Let's keep and lead on a Preordain. Trying to find lands. Alright, Island Preordain. Our opponent kept 6 cards. I will bottom, and I'm going to bottom this land, unfortunately. Pass the turn. We play Slagwood's Bridge. We will play out our land. Okay, I have a Hydroblast. I'm going to definitely counter their Wildfire. Too good of a card. Sacrifice this for a Plains. See if I can draw a land off the top, or what happens. Lorien. So let's cycle the Lorien for an island, and pass the turn. Our opponent has a Bojuka Bog. I don't like that. Let's see what we draw. Counterspell. I'm going to cycle the Lorien for the dual land, and pass. They have 4 mana. So they could play a Chrysalis, play a Wellspring. I'm going to counterspell the Wellspring. That potentially strands some of their card draw in their hand. I have a Preordain, Compulsive, and a Flicker. Bottom the Flicker. I think I should top the Compulsive. So if I'm just going to try to draw some cards. Discarding a land card, the Landscape, play a land, pass the turn. Looks like they have a Duress. Will they take the Flicker or the Negate? They decided to take the Ghostly Flicker. Plays Refurbished Familiar. I will get rid of the Snap. Play the Sunscape Familiar. Play the Archaeomancer, returning the Ghostly Flicker. Now it's likely that they have removal spells in their hand. Getting in for 2. They Fanatical Offering, sacrificing the Refurbished. So that was a good call on my part to counterspell the Wellspring. They play a Landscape. They've got 4 cards in hand. Kills the Archaeomancer. Sacrifice the Landscape. So now I'm looking for a Drifter. Lorien revealed again. Finding an island. Let's hold it in hand for a potential Refurbished. Guess I'm countering your Wellspring again. The Fanatical Offering away the map, drawing up to 3 cards in hand. I'm moving very slowly. And we have a second Familiar. I don't know if playing it makes the most sense. I guess I should put it on the table. Wildfire was a really good draw for them. Gives them a land and a card in hand. At this point, the land doesn't matter as much, but it was a great draw. They play a Bridge. Yep. Mortuary Mire would be a good draw. Ponder. Okay. Counterspell high. I think I have to mulligan. I have to shuffle these. Because I can't afford to have 3 bad draws like that. Let's play the Mulldrifter out. They did not have a Pyroblast. That was really big. And we found a counterspell. Okay. I can protect my Mulldrifter. Another Duress. Let's Ghostly Flicker the Mulldrifter. Snap the Mulldrifter. And then tap this. That was bad though. I guess I'm going to counterspell your Duress so you don't know what's in my hand. They pass. Here's a Mulldrifter. It draws me some cards. Scroll. Let's Preordain first. The gate is great. Bottom, top, land. So I can scroll for the other Snap. Snap and replay the Drifter. I think I'll hold on to it for a second. Or I guess I could also scroll for a counterspell. They have a Blood Fountain, which gets back a single Refurbished. This must have been their draw for turn, right? So I will counter. Okay, my turn. Ponder. I can use the scroll to shuffle the Ponder. Drifter. I think I play the Mulldrifter. do I just grab a counterspell? Try a preordain. Counterspell's already on top. Nice. Top. Play the land. I'll go ahead and attack. All right. I'm feeling decent about my situation. 2 mana. They have a Wildfire. So that's a cantrip now. I'll allow it. That was their draw for turn. Playing a Wellspring. Counterspell. So let's Merchant Scroll and try to get a counter. Looks like we just have Hydroblast. And then I can Merchant Scroll and grab the Ghostly Flicker. Attack in for 4. Draw 4 cards with my Ghostly Flicker, hopefully. Drawing a Compulsive. Let's play another Muldrifter. We found the Archaeomancer. Let's Mancer to get back the Flicker. Okay. So the only counter I have right now is Hydroblast. They have a Refurb. I will discard a Familiar. They map onto the Refurb. They have a Red Blast on top. Do they put it in the graveyard? They do not. That's really good for me. Do they have an instant speed way of drawing cards? Probably not. Let's draw a card. Now all I have to do is find... Yes. Got him. I was going to say, we had to try to find our High Tide, but it was the next card. Very nice. See you in the next round. Here we are in round... I don't even know. 5? Yeah, round 5. Let's go. What is Double P playing? I'm just going to keep it. We have a turn 2 fam and a negate. Play the landscape, pass the turn. I mean, this is way too much just mana going on, but it's fine. Island. Okay. I'll grab my plains. I have a High Tide now. Not very good if the opponent has islands. Our opponent brainstorms. So I can expect they're probably Mono Blue Terror again, or maybe some sort of blue-black fairies. Usually this is a Mono Blue Fairies land that people play. Another High Tide. I think I'm just going to fetch out another land, thin the deck a bit. Don't have a great plan versus fairies. They have 3 mana. They're not doing anything. Play a land. We're set up sort of close to infinite mana. Cycles a Lorien. Probably going to grab a black land. Just a regular island. Okay, I was right that it's a mono blue deck. Play an island. Guess what? That's what I'm doing. Cycles another island. I mean, it cycles another Lorien Revealed to get an island. They have 5 mana. Do they hard cast a Lorien Revealed? They're High Tiding. I'll try and negate. They have a Dispel. Alright, let's see what they can do. Tellurian Terror. I did not expect that. I don't know why I didn't expect that. I sort of thought it was going to be a High Tide deck. Okay. Let's start with the Preordain. We have a negate and a Preordain. So top, play the land, play the Archaeomancer. We have a negate, counter, grab the negate. So if they're playing the High Tide plus Rush of Knowledge version, I want to have the negate for their Rush of Knowledge. They're getting it for 5. If I can find a snap, I have infinite mana. If I have a flicker, I do not. Plays a Spire Golem. They have 3 cards in hand. Start with a Preordain. Okay, so we have snap. So I will bottom the High Tide, top the snap. They have to have all spell pierces. They've used Counterspell already. I will try High Tide. Try a High Tide. Snap my Archaeomancer. I mean, I'm riding on this Preordain pretty hard, but I want to try to make infinite mana while I can. They have to have Counterspell or Dispel. Spell Pierce not going to do it. If they have Lose Focus, it'd be pretty bad because they could just replicate it a bajillion times. Untap. Mancer. Get the snap. It looks like we're free in the clear. We're just going to make some mana then. Alright, I will have 9 mana floating after a Preordain. Preordain. Found a Drifter. Okay. Cast a Drifter. Draw 2. Another Muldrifter. I should probably cast the Lorien Revealed though. Drawing more cards. Found a snap. Let's cast the Muldrifter. Okay. now I can ponder plus shuffle. Ponder, Ghostly Flicker. Okay. All right, GG. No shuffle. I'll just play the island. Snap this. Mancer back the snap. I could actually Mancer back a High Tide, but I just don't think it's necessary. All right. Let's play the Archaeomancer. And then the goal here is going to be to just counterspell lock them and have a bunch of creatures in attack. Get back to Flicker. Ponder. No creatures, so I'll shuffle. Flicker again. Get back to Flicker. Another High Tide. Let's just Flicker. Sort of want to make sure I don't run out of mana and get stuck. Okay. I guess I High Tide and then Flicker just to make some mana. We definitely do not want to compulsive them because their lands have a bajillion. Keep drawing cards. Trying to find a familiar. There it is. There's the familiar. Make a bunch of mana. Need to rearrange my windows though. Flicker. Okay, where's my stuff? Get back to Flicker. There's an Archaeomancer. Get back the snap. Snap this one. Ponder. Another Mancer and a Muldrifter. Okay. No shuffle. We jam the Muldrifter. We cast the Archaeomancer. Getting the snap. Snap the Terror. Say yes. We untap. And now I'm going to go ahead and look for another creature. Put the stack up here. And then Preordain. We're looking for our counterspell. Preordain. So bottom, top. I don't want to run out of mana. Preordain. Negate's fine. Top, top. Preordain again. High Tide we don't really need. I guess I don't need the negate. There's the counterspell. So now I can just Flicker. Let's look for the last Muldrifter. Get the Preordain. Preordain. Don't need these. I guess I had a Lorien in hand, right? No, I don't. Another Archaeomancer. Get back to Preordain. Cast the Preordain. There's the Muldrifter. Bottom. Top the Muldrifter. Drifter on the table. And then we'll untap all of our lands. Just flickering the basics. And then I will go ahead and get back my counter spells. Flicker and negate. And then I'll flicker back, I guess, a High Tide. And then I'm done. So let's arrange our hand. We want 1, 2, 3. We want the counter spell. We want the negate. Maybe one snap. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Just discarding a ton of cards. Uh-oh, we have to not discard the Mortuary Mire. So I guess I have to put the snap in the graveyard. Or maybe the High Tide. I guess it's going to be the High Tide. So I think I'm just not going to counter the Terror and block and flicker and then attack for 8 a couple of times. But I'm going to counter the Spire Golem because it's in the air as a blocker. They have a counterspell. I'll negate their counterspell. We will flicker back the counter and the negate. You have to really move quickly. Back counterspell. Guess we can flicker back the snap. Play the Mortuary Mire. There's nothing to get back. Snap this. Yes, we pay the ward. Untap. Snap this one. Yes. Untap. And then you'll until next to end step. Swing out. And then I think I'm good. They're at 8, so I have 8 in the air now. I just need to do that to minimize the number of turns taken. There's a Terror. And another Terror. All good. Swing out. Boom, 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 boom. Counterspell whatever you're doing. Counterspell your second counter. Oh, they have Spell Pierce? I'm just going to pay. Sick. Pass the turn. Our opponent dies. I was so worried about that High Tide. I didn't need to counter that at all. So, a single counterspell to win the game is good. Do I want regular dispels? That might be good as well. So we could potentially just cut the Merchant Scrolls for the 2 dispels, and that way I'm not messing around trying to fetch things out. I don't even remember how I sided in the previous game, but I think I like having all the high tides so I can try to go off. Our opponent has sided up to 61, or they started with 61. We have Ponder into Shuffle. I'm going to keep. The best draw for me right now is a Familiar. They play an Island. We found a High Tide. It sort of looks like they're going to... I'm just going to play a land and pass. I feel like they're going to hold up in a Spell Pierce for a little bit. Brainstorm. I think I should fetch out my duel. They cycle a Lorien Revealed, getting an Island, and then they Ponder. Actually, this allows me to go Ponder plus Shuffle on my turn, which is nice. So thanks for tapping out. They're probably trying to get some snakes in play quickly. Okay. Mancer. Let's Ponder. We found the floodplain already. And a Dispel. So this is kind of fine. So top. No Shuffle, play the floodplain. I could have maybe... Maybe I messed that up. Did I put the Dispel on the bottom or on the top? I think it's on the bottom. They play a land. There's a Dispel. So I have a Preordain underneath this, which I do want to draw. So I'll play the land and pass. They play an Island. I'll play my Landscape. Sacrifice it. And grab an Island. And then play a Preordain. If they want to Spell Pierce it, I'll pay. If they counterspell it, it's fine. Compulsive and a High Tide. So double High Tide and Snap. I think I bottom the Compulsive and take the High Tide and pass the turn. If they tap out, we have the option of going like High Tide, Mancer, High Tide, Snap the Mancer. They're not tapping out. We did not draw land. So I will cycle for land. Play the land and Preordain. I'm getting a little nervous here. Don't know what that's about. Second Preordain. So I'll top, Preordain, and then top the land. If they're not going to do anything, it's pretty good for me. Boomerang's my floodplain. Okay. I guess I walked into that one. I'll discard the Island then. That stinks. They're playing a Tolarian Terror. High Tide. Not enough. Ponder. I have a Negate now and a Drifter. So I'll keep these. Play the land. They have a 5/5. They play a High Tide. Okay. They're going to cast the Rush of Knowledge, it looks like. I'm going to cast Negate. They're tapping their mana. The Snap, I'm going to Dispel your Snap. And that'll tap them out. Okay, so they made a decision there to try to go for that, and I think it's going to fail. So we have High Tide, tap for 2, High Tide, tap for 3, Mancer, High Tide, Snap the Mancer. Now tap for 4, make infinite mana. High Tide, no familiars required. High Tide again. Play the Archaeomancer, grab the High Tide. Now all I have to do is close, and they're tapped out, so I can actually compulsive kill them. We're going to snap the Archaeomancer on tap. And then begin the long, arduous process of making mana. Snap. Snap the Mancer. On tap. Play the Mancer. So each snap will net me 2 mana. Pop this guy. Or lady. Play the Mancer. I just floated a white in case I find a familiar someday. Snap the Mancer again. On tap. Mancer. Get the snap. I have no flickers. This is pretty sick. Feels good to like have a combo out against the terror deck. On tap. Let's cast a Mole Drifter. Draw 2. Compulsive Research. Alright, I'll try the compulsive. We will discard 2 cards. Negate and Ponder. Archaeomancer. Get the snap. Make sure to not misclick. Snap the Mancer. Untap. Cast a Mole Drifter. Finding a flicker. Okay, so now I can Mancer. Get the snap. Actually, I should have gotten the High Tide. Snap the Mancer. And then we'll go get the High Tide, actually. So I have a little bit more mana. High Tide. Tide is rising. Flicker. This is +2 mana. A little bit more clicking, though. Maybe not. Flickering away. And then I'll flicker the Mole Drifter, draw 2. Okay. Preordain. I could just counterspell them out. Let's bottom off the Mole Drifter. Flicker. Make some mana. Need to find a familiar. Because this is a lot of clicking and my finger is tired. Pretty silly. Flicker here. The clock is an issue. We're drawing cards. Found the familiar. Okay. That helps a lot. Flicker here. And draw more cards. I guess I should just compulsive them. Another familiar. Snap the Archaeomancer. Untap. It's probably the safest win, and I have all the time in the world. So we'll Archaeomancer, get the High Tide. Cast the High Tide. Archaeomancer, get the High Tide. Cast the High Tide. And then flicker. How does it feel knowing your lands are tapping for a bajillion and you can't actually do anything with them? Probably not very good. I want to find my other flicker so it makes this easier. Draw some cards. No flickers. Let's draw 3 cards. Still no flickers. Draw 2 cards. I should have just cast the... Well, I guess 1 mana to draw 2 cards is better. There's the double flicker. Okay, put this over here. And we have 24 mana. Let's flicker and get back High Tide a couple times. That's 1 tide. Get the other one. Doink. Guess that's all the tides I have in the graveyard. High Tide. High Tide again. I haven't been like going combo-y so hard since Mystic Sanctuary Familiars. So this is just awesome. 4 Archaeomancers in the main deck is wild. Okay, do I have enough mana? Probably. Begin the arduous process of pointing compulsive research at my opponent. I have 60 mana. Doink. It's probably faster for me to just play the Archaeomancer for the compulsive 2 times. That's funny. Although it will actually make it harder to do the loop because I'll have more creatures in play, and then that means that my board will be smaller, which will be harder to click. So I'm not going to do it. Okay, flicker. Get compulsive and flicker. Do it again. Dome you. The funny thing, it's sort of like a rub-in. It's not on purpose, but I found that playing Sage Rodenizen was just not very good, and having the option to counterspell lock or just compulsive my opponent out is much better. Sage's Rodenizen is a complete dead card otherwise, and I didn't want to pass the turn. But the rub-in is that my opponent is forced to act. They are forced to actually click cards in their hand every time I compulsive them, which is going to happen 15 times. Do it again. 804. They have 37 cards left. Let's see how long it takes us. All right, my opponent decided that they didn't feel like having to click and discard forever. So in 14 seconds, we finished the loop. Kinda. We'll see in the next round. My opponent decided that they did not want to keep clicking, so we ended up winning with 750 on clock, and we're on to the next round. This is a winning in. Let's see if we can get there. All right, we're here in round 5 or 6 versus Pygonti. This is for the top 8, I guess. We're on the draw. They generally play slow decks. So we could go plains, get an island, hold up, scroll, or negate, which is probably fine. Looks like they're on Affinity or Jeskai Ephemerate. So let's play the island and pass the turn. Jeskai Ephemerate, okay. That's sort of a bummer. Looks like they went for the Wildfire and tapped their lands wrong. Classic. All right. If I grab the land now, I think I'm going to let that happen. I really don't want to play against Jeskai Ephemerate, but I guess at least it'll be a tight match and lots of back and forth or something. Play island, pass the turn. They play an Augur of Bogles. I think I played, the last time I played them, I died. Okay, they find a counterspell. They're holding up the counterspell. I will cycle, getting in the floodplain, trying to get as many tap lands out of the deck as possible. Down to familiar. So soon I can play the fam. Maybe I could play the fam next turn and get it countered and then hold up my negate. Our opponent casts a brainstorm. Now they have a red land. Plays another Augur of Bogles. They had set that up with the brainstorm, so they get to get a good hit here. Finds Lorien revealed. They're getting in for 1. So I'm going to play the familiar, assuming it gets countered. Maybe I should have counterspell. That makes sense. So I'm holding up the negate for their Lorien revealed. They brainstorm. They can shuffle the brainstorm with the Lorien. Maybe I was too patient, but I figured they would have removal spells too. They cycle, so they did not want to use the Lorien revealed for anything but just lands. Getting in for 2. So what do I draw? Island. Let's cast the Merchant Scroll, grabbing the High Tide. Let's see if they want to counter it. I could also just get more negates. That might be worth it. I'll grab a negate. Mire back the familiar. Looks like our opponent is going to go for Drifter Ephemerate. They have 3 mana. They're thinking better of it now. Passing the turn. Getting in for 2. Okay. I'll play a land. Play out the familiar. So if they have a counterspell, I have a counterspell. Then I have another way to interact as well. They have a dispel. Okay. So if they have Drifter Ephemerate, pretty bad. Okay, I guess I'm just going to pass. I have card advantage in my hand to try to use. They're playing the Archaeomancer to get back a counterspell of some kind. Gets back Dispel. I don't like that. Getting in for 2. I'll try evoking a Muldrifter. They have a counterspell. This is just insane. Okay. So they still have Dispel in hand, and if they have Ephemerate, I'm super dead. Getting in for 3. My turn. Okay, we'll try a High Tide. Going to evoke a Muldrifter. We draw 2 cards. Attempt to snap the Muldrifter. They have a removal spell. Okay, it's pretty annoying. So they have 1 energy left over. Ponder. Another Muldrifter. Okay. So no shuffle. Play the landscape and pass. Because I have to leave open the negate. So frustrating. Lorien revealed. If I negate it, they have to use a dispel. Fine. They have way more interaction than I do. I know they have dispel in hand, but I didn't really want to draw the extra 2 lands on the top. Grab an island. Now I have Archaeomancer. Try the Muldrifter. If they have Counterspell plus Dispel, or they can't have Counterspell plus Dispel, because they only have 2 blue mana right now. Let's Preordain. Scroll Preordain. I'm going to top both. They have 6 cards in hand, though. I die to this Ephemerate right now, probably. Playing a Murmuring Mystic. Okay. Getting in, I will block. Seems like they have an Ephemerate in hand. 5 cards. Start with a Preordain. I'm looking for a Familiar. I find Familiar and Archaeomancer. So play the fam. I'm going to try to Mancer for the negate. Archaeomancer. They have Dispel in hand. They're going Thraben Charm. Interesting. Okay. I'm trying to be patient and run them out of action, but they have 5 cards in hand. Wildfire targeting my Mire. Okay. Grabbing an island. So I can block these 3 cards. They can't really attack with their bird. They'd have to attack with everything to get in right now. I wonder if I should... Okay, so I can scroll for a negate and then Mancer for the scroll. Cast Merchant Scroll. Maybe I should get Counterspell. I'll take the Counterspell. Play Archaeomancer. They Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. I'm going to respond by snapping the Archaeomancer. We know they have a Dispel in hand. They use the Dispel. We will negate the Dispel. So Mancer gets snapped. We're going to untap. Ephemerate does not resolve. So I can Archaeomancer for the scroll. Scroll. Grab the flicker. So I just have to not die to them playing the Archaeomancer out. They have Archaeomancer in hand. They have 4 birds in the air. Playing an Augur of Bogles. If they play the Archaeomancer, they'll only have 3 mana left over. Finding a Scred. They're playing the Archaeomancer. I will attempt to counterspell. They're attacking in. I mean, I don't... What does that mean? Kills a Mancer? And both Mancers? That sucks. Is that lethal? Or... No, it's not lethal. Block, block. We got a 1. I have 2 more Archaeomancers in the deck, I believe. I will flicker the Muldrifter. That sucked. I mean, we had just too much air, I guess. So, I'm gonna take out some High Tides. Take out some Snaps. We want all the Dispels. We want the Pyroblast, or the Hydroblast. We want the Counterspells. Just an insane amount of interaction. Do I want to try to just not combo them? I kind of have to. I guess I can just take out the counterspells. 1 counterspell, because it's kind of tough to cast it. 1 Ponder. I don't feel good about this. Jeskai Ephemerate's annoying. Pygonti is good at playing blue control decks. Actually, maybe I should bring in a scroll and cut a tide. So I have more effective copies of my counterspells and my snaps. It's 1 High Tide to potentially win the game. Okay, we're on the play. We just need to make land drops. This doesn't do it, so let's mulligan. This is a lot better. Keep, put back, flicker. We're going to landscape and then get an island. Maybe I should just get the dual land right away. Play the landscape. Let's see what they're up to. I think I grabbed the plains. So my problem is I have no way to get into my next lands here. We will get an island. Pass. I have Hydroblasts for their Wildfire and stuff, but I need a land. They're holding up removal spell / whatever. Play the land. Let's put the familiar on the table. They play an island. We're gonna try to Hydroblast your removal spell. They have 2 removal spells, so didn't work. I'll grab an island. Maybe I should have just evoked the Muldrifter there. Pass. They evoke a Muldrifter. So they're looking for lands too. Oh man. They found a land. I will evoke. Can I find a land? We did not. Now they have their 5th land. So we're 2 lands behind them. And I was on the play. Now they just slam Commodore. That blows. Ponder. I don't think I can take this. I'm feeling like I'm dead here. Like super duper dead. Unfortunately. The Commodore wrecked me because I couldn't find a land. And that was a problem with my mana base. If I draw a land, I could maybe put the Mancer onto the table and then protect it. They're just going to ride the Monarch for victory. Man, I hate the Monarch. I could think I'm pretty dead here, so I don't really feel like playing it out. I got stuff to do. We'll see if we make it. 4 and 2 is not terrible. And thank you for watching. Maybe you'll see you in another round. Probably not. I'll see you in the next video. We ended up exactly in 9th place with the same tiebreakers as Season of Mists. So I guess we lost on the secondary tiebreakers, which is an absolutely brutal end to it. But, you know, congrats to Season of Mists. We'll see you in the next video.